Welcome back to BibleGlimpse, my fellow seekers of divine wisdom. Today we're diving headfirst into the wild and wacky world of Genesis 38. And let me tell you folks, this chapter's got more twists and turns than a roller coaster at an amusement park, run by an eccentric uncle. Now you might be thinking, Genesis, that's all about Adam and Eve and talking to snakes, right? Well, strap in my friends, because today we're going down a different rabbit hole. One that involves more questionable family dynamics than your annual Thanksgiving dinner. As always, we're going to start with a reading from the New International Version, so we have some reference.
At that time, Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam named Hira. There Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite man named Shua. He married her and made love to her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son, who was named She conceived again and gave birth to a son and named him Onan. She gave birth to still another son and named him Shelah. It was at Kezib that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, "Sleep with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law to raise up offspring for your brother." But Onan knew that the child would not be his, so whenever he slept with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep from providing offspring for his brother. What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death also. Judah then said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, "Live as a widow in your father's household until my son Shelah grows up." For he thought, he may die too, just like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's household. After a long time Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timnah, to the men who were shearing his sheep, and his friend Hira the Adullamite went with him. When Tamar was told, "Your father-in-law is on his way to Timnah to shear his sheep," she took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance to Enaim, which is on the road to Timnah. For she saw that, though Shelah had now grown up, she had not been given to him as his wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. 16 Not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law, he went over to her by the roadside and said, "Come now, let me sleep with you." "And what will you give me to sleep with you?" she asked. "I'll send you a young goat from my flock," he said. "Will you give me something as a pledge until you send it?" she asked. He said, "What pledge should I give you?" "Your seal and its cord, and the staff in your hand," she answered. So he gave them to her and slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. After she left, she took off her veil and put on her widow's clothes again. Meanwhile Judah sent the young goat by his friend the Adullamite in order to get his pledge back from the woman, but he did not find her. He asked the men who lived there, "Where is the shrine prostitute who was beside the road at Enaim?" "There hasn't been any shrine prostitute here," they said. So he went back to Judah and said, "I didn't find her." Besides, the men who lived there said, "There hasn't been any shrine prostitute here." Then Judah said, "Let her keep what she has, or we will become a laughingstock. After all, I did send her this young goat, but you didn't find her." About 3 months later Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar is guilty of prostitution, and as a result she is now pregnant." Judah said, "Bring her out and have her burned to death." As she was being brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law. "I am pregnant by the man who owns these," she said. And she added, "See if you recognize whose seal and cord and staff these are." Judah recognized them and said, "She is more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Shelah." And he did not sleep with her again. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. As she was giving birth, one of them put out his hand. So the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it on his wrist and said, "This one came out first." But when he drew back his hand, his brother came out, and she said, "So this is how you have broken out." And he was named Perez. Then his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his wrist, came out. And he was named Zerah. This concludes the reading.
So Genesis 38 opens with our boy Judah, who's had a rough go of it in previous chapters. You remember Judah, right? The guy who thought it would be a brilliant idea to sell his own brother Joseph into slavery and lie to his dad about it? Yeah, that guy. Well, it turns out he's not done making questionable life choices. Judah decides to take a detour from the whole family reunion thing and heads off to Canaan. He meets a gal named Shua and they hit it off. Like, really hit it off. They get hitched, have a couple kids, and Onan. But here's where it gets interesting, folks. Well, he must have been quite the troublemaker because the big guy upstairs takes him out. No more Now, in a move that would make even the most skilled contortionist jealous, Judah tells his other son, Onan, to go into your brother's wife. For those that don't get this, he's telling him to go sleep with his other brother's wife. A little weird here. Yeah, you heard that right. It's like something out of a bizarre reality show where the rules are just made up on the spot. But Onan, being the savvy guy he is, decides to pull out and spill his seed on the ground. And the big guy upstairs isn't too thrilled about this and takes Onan out as well. 2 down, 1 to go. Now, you'd think Judah would be a little hesitant to let his last son, Shelah, get involved in this whole mess. But he sends him off with a go hang out with your buddy's kid and maybe you'll come back when you're older. Well, real responsible parenting there, Judah. But then things get even wilder. Judah's wife, Shua, she kicks the bucket. And after he mourns her for a while, he decides to go on a little road trip. He spots a woman by the side of the road who's dressed like she's auditioning for a biblical reality TV show, and he's instantly smitten. Little does he know that this roadside attraction is actually his daughter-in-law, Tamar, in disguise. Tamar pulls a fast one on Judah, and let's just say it involves a seal, a cord, and a staff. Yeah, things get a little 50 Shades of Genesis here. Long story short, Tamar ends up pregnant, and Judah wants to burn her at the stake for being a harlot, not realizing that he's the one who's been caught with his biblical pants down. So, and there you have it, folks. Genesis 38. Where the family drama reaches levels that even the Kardashians would envy. If you've enjoyed this dive into the weird and wacky world of the Bible, don't forget to give us a heavenly thumbs up, subscribe to BibleGlimpse, and share this video with your fellow seekers of biblical humor and insight. Remember, the Bible is full of surprises, and we're going to unpack each and every one of them. One laugh at a time. Until next time, may your days be as blessed as Lot's saltless wife, and may your biblical knowledge be as vast as Noah's Ark. Keep seeking that glimpse of divine wisdom, my friends, and thank you.